Welcome back. This is still Miss Titus. So in this video, we're going to take a look at the second part of your themed children's story planner example about the story Spoon. So at this point, all of the blanks should be filled in on this side of your paper. So quick review, we said that the audience for this story is 5 to 7 years old. So you should have circled that number. The type of conflict is individual versus self. So we wrote down self. The actual conflict is Spoon thinks everyone else is better than he is. You wrote down the word better. The initiating event or that conflict starts. The conflict begins when Spoon's mom asks him why he is so blue and he shares why. You should have written down mom. And then when does the conflict change or the climax? The conflict changes when Spoon's mom tells him about all the great things that make him special. You wrote down the word spoon. For character 1, Spoon, our list says for physical traits, small, big head, shiny, and short. You wrote down short. For personality traits, worried, sad, envious, and doubtful. You wrote down doubtful. For our second character, Spoon's mom, for physical traits, we have tall, shiny, pink cheeks, and you wrote down long eyelashes. Her personality traits are loving, concerned, understanding, and you also wrote down encouraging. For the theme topic, the basic idea, this story is about confidence or Spoon's struggle to feel confident in himself. And then the theme statement or the complete sentence that captures the message of the entire story is be confident in who you are and how you are different and unique from others. You wrote down the word confident here. So now once we've kind of thought through all of these details of the story. Now we want to kind of get into the nitty-gritty. So when you're planning your own story, this planner will be the first step. So you'll kind of plan out the basics here. So you'll have your conflict, when it starts and changes, your main characters, what they look like, what they act like, and kind of what they're supposed to learn or what the theme is for them. And then we start planning out the details in a plot diagram. So to do this, I'm going to open up my plot diagram here, and you should be on the back of your sheet at this point. And once again, for every black word that I uncover and underline, you will make sure that you're writing those things down as well. And remember, this plot diagram is just an example. So eventually when you're writing your own story, you'll be able to kind of fill in these exact details so that when you sit down to write your actual story, it'll already be planned out for you and in order. So this is just an example of how to do that with a children's story. So in our exposition, which is when we meet the setting or we meet the characters and learn about the setting, we meet Spoon and his family and friends, and Spoon lives with his family. So we want to write down the word family. So he lives with his family and friends in his house. And if we'll remember, Spoon's problem is he's not feeling very confident about himself. So this problem starts, or the initiating event, is when Spoon seems sad and his mom asks what is wrong. Spoon shares that he thinks his friends are better than him. So we are going to write down the word better. And then after that, our rising action, we have a couple of events here. Number 1, Spoon talks about the talents of his friends. So he's not talking about just anybody. He's specifically feeling a little jealous or envious of his friends, the knife, the fork, and the chopsticks. Those are the examples he gives. Then as the reader, we see how his friends actually see Spoon, that he's fun and active. So we get Spoon's perspective of the friends, but then we also get the friends' perspective of Spoon, which gives us a little bit of information. And then before that problem starts to change, his mom tells Spoon all the things that he gets to enjoy, like cereal bowls and ice cream and warm tea. So the mom kind of reminds him or encourages him of all the things he actually is good at that his friends can't do, like the things that are special about him. And so after the mom does that, we have our climax, or when Spoon's lack of confidence starts to turn around, when Spoon realizes that he is talented and there are things that are special about him. And then once that problem turns around, we have our falling action. And in the falling action, the last couple of pages, Spoon can't sleep. So he's having trouble sleeping, which might seem like another problem, but it's a good kind of not being able to sleep, right? So he's he's really excited that he's feeling better about himself. And so since he can't sleep, he goes and snuggles with his mom and dad. And then at the very end, he's able to fall asleep and he has sweet dreams instead of continuing to feel bad for himself. So the point of filling out this plot diagram is for us to be able to see how the different parts of this children's story fit on a plot diagram, so that when you are planning your own children's story, you can use a plot diagram to organize your ideas in a specific order to make sure you have all of these key parts of a story. So learning these parts of the story isn't only important for our reading, it's also important if we want to write stories, because all good stories should include these 6 things. So you should have hopefully written down all 6 of the words that are bold and underlined here. So in exposition, you wrote down family. In initiating event, you wrote down better. For rising action, you wrote down friends. For climax, you wrote down talented. And for falling action, you wrote down sleep. And resolution, you wrote down dreams. And once you've finished both sides of your story planner, the previous side and this side for the plot diagram, we're going to want to keep this paper in the important section of your binder so you can use it when you start your writing project. Good luck!